Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beard Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not. You know all that good shit. And it's good to see you again. I miss everyone. I haven't been working in Discord, and it's kind of weird. Just coming on a couple times a week and seeing you. I'm used to seeing you every day. But anyways, let's get to excuse me. Apparently, let's get to the bubbly guts. I'm working on today, well, two things. I'm working on a Nora Phoenix project, and I'm also working on a nonfiction project for Tantor as well. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the two of them while I'm prepping a Christmas story for Casey Wells. So busy week this week, but we're going to get all that knocked out. Then hopefully next week we're going to be on to Dragons, Dragons, and More Dragons, and hopefully a Marie Sexton book too. So that's what we got going on. Um, let's see here. I had a really good workout this morning. there's that. Oh, and at some point along the way, I have from our other favorite Brit, Victoria Sue, sent me something in the mail, and strangely enough, I think my wife already started to open it, and then she was like, "Oh no, I wasn't supposed to open that." So at some point today, we got to open that. But anyways, that's what we got going on now. The guest that I have coming on today, I'm going to read you her bio here in a second, as I've been wanting to do. But I've been looking forward to this for a number of reasons. One, we're friends from several years ago. I did quite a few books for her several years ago. I've run into a couple of GRLs, but I never seem to have a chance to like really sit down and talk with her there. And um, this is somebody that like you ever have one of those friends that you haven't really met face to face, but like you have long like late night conversations with. This is one of those friends for me. We had quite a few of those years ago. So, Giovanna, or Gia Reaves, is the alter ego for a dreamer who spends her days and nights creating worlds from her imagination. Being an avid reader allowed Gia's imagination to take hold. With the encouragement of her loved ones, Gia has given into the voices in her head, putting their words and worlds to paper. Gia is also a mother, a wife, and a veteran. And she is also a serious chocoholic, and loves to read romance just as much as she loves writing them. The sweeter the better, especially on a snowy or rainy day. That's how she likes to fill her days when she is not writing. Here you go, folks. I give you Gia Reaves. Hello.
Hello.
Um,
You
seriously.
read that and I was like, whoa, who wrote that?
Did that happen to you like before? Especially like you had Sean Crisden do one of your books. Like when you were listening to that, were
Yes.
you like, holy fuck, who wrote that? Because Sean makes everything
That
sound good.
happens quite a lot because I kind of forget some of the things that I write and then I'll go read it over like a couple of years later and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's really good. Why don't I write like that anymore?"
I I I think we all go through that. I've had that experience
Yeah.
before where I've actually here's a fun one. I have an older brother. He's 10 years older than me. He works in a lumber yard, or he did actually. He just left his lumberyard job. He's very happy about that. But anyways, working in a lumberyard, and the guys had found out that I'm an audiobook narrator and that I narrate a lot of romance. Now, mind you, we're around Columbus, Ohio, and he works in a lumberyard. Romance is not exactly something these boys are listening to all day long by any stretch.
Nope.
So they've used it apparently to make fun of him over the years, which my brother thinks is hilarious. So my brother also has not really heard me narrate books. Anyways, they pull up what he describes as a tentacle shifter book to poke fun at him one day on lunch, and they're playing a sample, and my brother's like, "Is that my brother? It doesn't sound a thing like him." And they looked, oh, no, it's John Solo. And my brother's describing this to me, and he says, God damn, John. He said, you were so good, I didn't even recognize your voice. That was like the highest compliment I could possibly even get. I was like,
That
wow,
is
that's
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
It was pretty cool. I have no idea what voice I did for that
Yep.
book. I've done a lot of tentacle shifter books. um, so, speaking of tentacle shifters, not really, but shifters in general, when we met, you were actually writing a lot of impreg and I think some shifter stuff. I can't remember along the way.
Yeah,
This has been
I
back
still
in,
do.
you still do. Excellent. This is
Yeah.
like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. And I cannot remember at this point. How long have you been writing now?
This year made it 6 years.
So
Yeah,
you're like
six
you're like
years.
an old pro at this point.
No, I'm still learning. I'm still there are things that I'm still learning. I try to tell myself that, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still trying to get a hang of my own voice sometimes, and I'm still trying to get a hang of what to listen to and what not to listen to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of do's and don'ts, and I'm trying to block out a lot of that and just listen to my own advice. And
Finding your own
sometimes it
voice,
works and
that's,
sometimes it doesn't.
yeah, finding your own voice is the absolute hardest thing to do in any artistic endeavor. Um,
It is
now,
because there's so many other distractions around,
mhm. Who
you
do you
know.
listen to?
Who do I listen to? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I listen to the characters. And I listen to the characters, and my editor is always telling me when I tell her, what kind of problem I'm having. And she says, okay, just take a step back, listen to what the characters are saying. And if it flows, go with it. If it doesn't, wait. You know what I mean? I mean, in this day and age where everything is just so fast paced and you want to get things out as quickly as possible, it's hard to just wait.
Hmm.
But that's what I have to do sometimes. And, listen to the characters. And sometimes they talk quickly and sometimes it takes them forever and ever.
Well, you've hit
Yeah.
upon something that's incredibly difficult for all of us working in the industry. That is time.
Yes.
It's difficult to. Well, we have a lot of authors that listen to the show. It's very difficult for many of us, and narrators included, to be able to make a living and keep up with the task at hand. And oftentimes, for an author, to my understanding, that's a book every 30 to 60 days, somewhere in that range.
Mhm.
That's fucking quick. That's amazingly
That's
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
I consider myself a very slow writer. I'm pretty slow, where some authors, like, I have a friend she's worked on, like, I'm working on one book, and I think I've been working on it since probably the beginning of September. And she's worked on probably two other books in between. And I'm like, I'm so slow. And she's like, well, no, I worked with another person. And I'm like, it still doesn't matter. To me, you're on it. And
Hmm.
I feel like I am just going at the turtle pace and she's just the rabbit just zooming right by me, but it doesn't bring on any kind of jealousy, if 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 at all. It makes me want to push more
Hmm.
and kind of catch up to her. You know what I mean? But I realize I still have to go at my own pace
I
and
have
take my time
I've
because
slowed myself down recently a lot. I'm able to when I'm really pushing, I'm able to put out 15 to 20 finished hours a week, which seems very attractive, especially if you do the math. I can make a lot of money, but unfortunately, when I do that for any extended period of time, I just put out shit work. And not shit. It's just it's not as good as I could do. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I.
Yeah, because you get that burnout feeling after a while. You kind of like feel like it's just not good enough. You know what I mean? And then you feel like you have to start all over again.
Mhm.
And for some people, it's fine. Whatever comes out is fine. But for someone like me who I stress everything, I have to tell myself, don't stress everything. And even if I say don't stress, I still stress. So, yeah.
I've I've what do you do to handle that? By the way, what's your strategy for dealing with stress? Do you just get blackout drunk and go clubbing, or what do you do?
I wish I could get blackout drunk. I mean, I used to do that when I was in the military. Those were the days where I would like seriously go get blackout drunk. But now I'm a responsible adult, I think. Um, I I find something else to do. Like I go and bug my husband or my son who's 19 years old. I go and bug him, and I pick up some kind of new hobby, or I watch a shit ton of anime and try to get my brain to slow itself down, and then I sit back down and I try and write.
Hmm. The
Yeah.
Me and you talked about the military a lot. I was talking, bringing you on that we had several late night, just deep conversations years ago, which is typically how I like how I know a client is going to be. I deal with people that are friends. That's my clients at this point. If I don't like you, I'm probably not going to produce many of your books. Me and you became very friendly. And one of the things we talked about was military because I don't understand the military. I was not in the military. I'm not a military brat. You seem to kind of have it down. Now, are you still around the military life at all, or is that gone
No,
from?
no, no, no. I
I love how you say that. No, 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 no.
I did my 4 years, and during that 4 years, I got married, and I was around the military because my husband was still in the military. And
Mm-hmm.
once we, when you're overseas, it's easy to stay in the military atmosphere. But when you're in the States, it's a lot easier to separate yourself. You know, we, when we were overseas, we lived in Italy and we lived in the Middle East, and you're around everything military because you get to know who your husband or your whoever your spouse is working with, and you get to be a part of their command, and you know the gossip. And I mean, there are ways to actually stay connected with military people while you're here because they have all these uh, forums and whatnot. But once we got back to the States, I was like, okay, and as a veteran, my husband does use the veteran services. I could
Mm-hmm.
still use them, and I do some in some cases, but other than that, I don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I
How did it?
should because it would
How did
help me
it?
with certain things, but I don't.
Well, yeah. How did it affect you? I mean, how did it affect, let's say, your creative outlet? Do you find that? Do you find that that changed you completely?
Um, I don't think it did. I'm still as unorganized as ever, you know.
Cheers. You and me both.
you know, um, I no, I don't think it changed me much. I mean, I think if I was still around a lot of military people or military spouses who took the military very seriously, I mean, from whoever they were married to whoever they're not, I think I would still be that. I would find it would change. My whole outlook on life would change. But once I got from behind the veil, so to speak, it didn't change me at all.
Good.
So
Acronyms. That's my biggest annoyance with the military are fucking acronyms. Just shut up with your acronyms.
oh,
Sorry.
even when I was in, I didn't know the acronyms. So I mean, even now, my husband would say something. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What are you talking about? And he'd have to explain.
I've run into many an author that have actually like been in the military and write acronyms into their books, and I have to ask them questions like, "What the hell does this one mean, and how do you say it?" Because some acronyms you string the letters together and say a word. Others you spell out, right? So many times I've had people say, "I don't know. I just researched it." Like, what do you fucking mean you don't know?
I've
Uh,
had I've had to do that. There
yeah.
was there's a free story I've been working on for years. Should have been done by now. And it's about a kid who goes to boot camp. And while he's in boot camp, I kind of used my own experience because when I joined the military, I knew nothing about the military. Didn't know what you call an officer, didn't know what, anything was. And I used that experience in the story, and the poor kid was so lost, just like I was. And the first time I said "sir" to an officer, and he said, "Do I look like a fucking?" What did he say? He said, "Do I look like I don't have a fucking job?" And I was like, "I don't know what you mean."
Please don't hit me,
And
sir.
then, like, and then I realized chiefs don't like to be called "sir." And then I was like, ah. So from then, I never called a chief sir. So that's how I learned.
I've learned more from you, from Miski, and from a few of my other friends than I ever. And I've done many a book set in a military environment before, but just chatting with a few of you people, I've learned more. I've learned that I never should. I'm glad I did not go in the military. That would have fucking killed me. And talk about undisciplined. That is, although we were talking about stress earlier, right? I've discovered I discovered this maybe 6 or 8 months ago. I'm into a lot of breathing techniques. I'm a narrator, and lately I've been getting into it more because I made the mistake shortly before GRL. I decided for some reason it'd be a damn good idea to start smoking cigarettes again, like a fucking idiot. So I've had to quit again, and it wasn't the easiest thing this time around. Were you ever a nicotine person? You ever get into that?
No.
No, it sucks. Don't.
Weed, yes.
Yeah,
Nicotine, no.
weed's fucking amazing too. I wish I could smoke weed now. That would have made this a lot easier. But I, 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 I cannot. I once I smoke weed, then I just start drinking a half gallon of vodka a day, and then it's on like Donkey Kong. I
Yeah,
pretty much just, for me, I can't do shit. But so yeah, quit smoking cigarettes, and I get in a lot more into the breathing techniques again, which is good for me. It's very healthy. One of them is the Wim Hof method. Um, he's called the Iceman. You ever heard of this guy before?
no.
You're gonna love this. Um, Speaking of being uncomfortable in the military, right? Um, so they don't make you do this, but it's probably about as uncomfortable. What I've been doing is taking cold showers. And not because I have some sort of sexual drive that needs to be maintained. This is for my health, and
Completely understandable.
yeah, it's really, really, really painful. It sucks. It does help, and I'm actually starting to get kind of used to it. But man, the first couple days of this, what you do is you take a hot shower and you're like all scrubbing and feeling good about yourself, and in the last 30 seconds, you flip it over to cold just so you can torture the fuck out of yourself. The one thing I found though is nothing is harder through the course of my day than that. So once I get that over with, it's pretty stress free from then on. Maybe you should try cold showers. I'm not just saying.
I think I'll try working out, bro. First. I don't think cold showers are for me. I mean, I do sleep in a cold room, if that makes any
Oh yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Cold
yeah,
showers is not for me, but I sleep in a cold room. So yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
I
actually
guess.
it's actually really helpful. But I do crazy shit like that where I have to challenge myself constantly. I think that's part of the insanity of who I am. What insane thing do you do? What insane habit do you have? What insane thing that you typically every day you do this stupid thing once more? What is it?
I don't know. I would say my everyday insane thing is just God, I don't know. Just being me.
I've met you. Well, actually, I feel bad about that at GRL a couple times. It seems like every time I see you at GRL, like I'm on my way one direction and you're on your way the other. The last time I like walked out of the GRL, I didn't even know you were there yet. I walked out of the GRL hotel and I've got my wife with me and our friend Anna, and I turn around and like there you are. Holy shit! It's like 2 days in.
Yeah, I
I felt so bad. I
That's
was like,
cool. I went.
"Ah, I'm running."
Don't feel bad.
Um,
Don't feel bad at all. I went as a reader this year because I wanted to experience it as a reader this year. So I was I was good with going and just blending in with everybody. So it's cool. It's
well, how
fine.
was it? What was the difference?
The difference was it was less stress.
Hmm.
I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do. So if I wanted to, skip a panel or two or all day, I could do that. I didn't have to be somewhere, you know, that I didn't have to be, and I didn't have to get up, and I didn't have to buy anything or prepare anything, and that's the good. The bad is, um, no, there's no bad. Now that I think about it, there's no bad. I mean, I enjoy going either way as an
Hmm.
author or as a reader. It's just different experiences, different likes, different dislikes, but I didn't find anything bad about going as a reader,
Are you going to go next year?
you know? I can't. No, I'm not going next year. Next year, my husband and I are doing something big, so no money to spend on
Congratulations, by the way.
GRF. Thank you.
That is awesome. Tell
Thank
me,
you.
if you were able to tomorrow, money's no object here. If you and your husband, or you and the kids, or whoever you want to go with, go anywhere in the world, anywhere, where would you go tomorrow?
I would get on a plane and go to Fiji.
Fiji? You got to
Yeah,
tell me
I've
about
never
this.
been.
You never been?
I've never I've never been. Um, I love traveling, of course, but I've never been to I was born in Jamaica. I'm Jamaican, so I've been to that island. But I love going. I want to go and do island hops. And I want to start with Fiji and just work my way to whatever island fits my mood.
Dude,
So,
that is
that's
so
what I
fucking
want to do.
awesome. Do you go back
And
to Jamaica a lot?
no,
And
no. And I want to try every single dish that my stomach can handle.
if I remember right, you have kind of are you able? Do you have a lot of allergies, that sort of thing? Is there something going on
I
there?
do. I have a
Yeah,
lot of allergies and I have stomach issues that, reoccurs every so often.
yeah.
But I love to I'm a girl. I love to eat, and it's hard. It's hard to try every single dish when you have stomach issues. So, yeah,
Hmm.
I want to just I when I was in Italy, I ate so much. When I was in the Middle East, I ate so much. There were so many different foods to try and I miss that. That's the thing I miss about being in or around the military
Hmm.
is being able to travel and try different things and learn from different cultures and meet different people and just experiencing a different way of living.
The learn
But
from
yeah.
different cultures thing is absolutely that's huge for me. I've my wife and I have been to Italy, and I've been to Amsterdam for a
Hmm.
convention over there. But I've traveled very little other than that. A couple places in the U.S. here and there. I've certainly not hit all 50 states. What you said about
Me
the
either.
island, though, Fiji, what, uh, what fascinates me about it, not only the food, but the island life. From my understanding, I've never been to Jamaica or Fiji. My understanding is the island life is a bit more chilled, a bit more relaxed, a bit more slow, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Is that the attractive
Yep.
aspect of it to you?
That is the attractive aspect of it. I want to be able to just relax and not think about responsibilities for
Hmm.
a couple of days. You know what I mean?
Oh
Just
God, yes.
chill, you
Hmm.
know? Worry about things later and have fun.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
eat whatever you freaking want. Oh my God. See, yeah,
Yes.
are you? Do you like to cook yourself, or do you like to go out? Which do you prefer?
Um, okay, so I do like to cook, but I don't cook.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I do. I like to cook. I mean, okay, so let me explain. When I was younger and I would try and attract someone, cooking was the way to do it, you know?
Hmm.
But now that I've gotten what I want, I cook no more. So,
That's a, you know what? That's the most honest way of putting that I've ever heard in my life. So you made some you made some bait,
I did.
and you cast it out and you got them. And,
I
yeah,
sure did.
I get it.
And I
Did
got
you
what I wanted.
got
So
what
I
you wanted?
don't
And,
cook anymore.
well, tell me, do you remember what the first dish that you made your now husband was? Do you remember?
Yeah, I made al salmone farfalle al salmone. And I learned how to make it the natural way with the cream and I didn't make the pasta by itself, but I learned how to do it all. And when I got the smoked salmon, and I did everything that I needed to do, and um, I
You
invited
got
him over, and
you got to tell me what this dish is because you said two or three words that I would have to look up. I'm an idiot. So tell me what this is.
farfalle, it's just really it's salmon in creamy sauce,
Okay.
in white cream sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically it. And you make it a little spicy or you make it not so spicy. So yeah.
Which did you do? Spicy or not so spicy?
Because I didn't know if he liked spicy, so I did not so spicy.
Okay. Well, it obviously worked.
Yeah.
It sounds like you made the right decision.
Yeah. But then I messed up and I made some Jamaican food and I put onions in it and I didn't know he didn't like onions. So, you know,
Onions are they're a tricky thing. Like for me, I like
yeah.
onions, but I like cooked onions. No raw onions. Don't nothing. No raw whatsoever. But cook them and I'll eat them all day long. Onions are a tricky thing. What's your opinion on onions? Do you like any onion? Do you like only the red kind? What do you
I
like?
used to like onions. I used to love onions, in all actuality. But the thing was, after learning how to eat the way he does, I can't eat them anymore, you know? So
he changed you with this palate.
he did,
I
which is
get
why
it
he
there.
now cooks.
Okay, so he cooks for you, dude. You have got it made, Gio. Look at you go. Congratulations on that. I do. My wife
Thank
cooks
you.
75% of the time. I'm in charge of. You're gonna laugh at this. I'm in charge of smoking meat. That's what I do. So if there's
I
meat to be
love
prepared,
smoked meat. Oh
oh
my
yeah,
gosh, I
oh
do.
yeah, it
I
is
love smoked
amazing.
meat.
And
The
it's
first time I taste brisket, smoked
mm,
brisket, I
oh yeah,
was in heaven.
it's
Yeah.
it's well one of my friends Denise gave me a smoker a few years ago, and that's oh man any kind of if I'm gonna cook it's gonna be smoked, it's gonna be on there, and it just makes everything better. It's amazing. But that's about the only damn thing I can do. That's my skill set. I'll smoke some meat. That's about it. Jody takes care of all the rest, and it's wonderful. Um, for you're still working on Shifter series, you said. What are you working on
Hmm.
currently?
I'm working on a book called His Magical Touch. It was supposed to be a Christmas story, but I can't do Christmas stories. I'm, uh, it's not that I can't, it's just that it doesn't work well for me. So it's a shifter. Well, not shifter, it's more magical. It's about an elf who he's part of Santa's workshop, and he is a wish agent. And he goes out and he fulfills wishes. So these little kids made a wish for their father. It's like I kind of try to do like a Mary Poppins Bewitched kind of thing, meld it together,
Hmm.
put it together, and make it my own. And of course, the father and elf falls in love, So go
Dude, that
from
sounds
there.
like a ton of fun.
I hope it is. I was trying to make it cute, funny, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm at the end, I think.
So tell me about the biggest roadblock with this story and how did you overcome it?
Um, I haven't overcome it yet. That's the thing. The biggest roadblock I have right now is it's a part of the Valleywood and the Vale Valley universe altogether.
Hmm.
But I'm trying not to make it all about Valleywood, or I'm trying not to make it all about Vale Valley. I'm trying to keep it a story separate from itself. But
Hmm.
it's not working out that way. So I'm just gonna it goes back to listening to what my characters want and just go with it that way.
Tell me,
Hopefully the
speaking
readers
of,
will get
well,
it.
they're gonna get it. They love you. Um, Tell me, speaking of Vale Valley and such, tell me how you met Elizabeth Silver, and tell me a dirty story about her if you have one.
Oh God. Um, Liz and I met at our at my very first GRL in where was it? Colorado.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting by myself, just, doing my thing. And someone said something and we looked at each other. Liz and I looked at each other and that was it. We just clicked since then. And when I came up with the Veil Valley story idea, you know, after the first season, I was like, there's someone missing from the whole entire scheme. And I said, hey, Liz. And she said, hey, Gia. And I said, I got this thing. And I didn't finish. And she said, I'm in. And that's how it happened. Dirty story. I don't know any.
You can
If
make
I
one
do,
up.
I don't
You're a writer.
remember.
I can't help it. I love Liz to death, and I haven't seen her in quite a while. So hopefully
I
she's
do
all right.
too.
Yeah.
She is. She's doing really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I expected I expect her to be at the last GRL, but if she was, I didn't see her, and that seems
No, she
unlikely to
couldn't make
me.
it.
Yeah, I think I would hear her
Yeah.
from a ways off. So yeah, that's unfortunate.
You can't miss her. You can't miss her smile.
No, she's absolutely wonderful. I don't spend enough time on, and this is something I thought I would never say. I don't spend enough time on social media at this point. I
I
just,
don't either.
I got off, and I,
I don't either.
I occasionally I'll pop in now and I'll click a like here and there and that sort of thing. But I realize, I mean, I've got an addictive personality. I will be on there all fucking day long. I won't get anything done, so I just can't. So I miss my wife is and Trace are in charge now of telling me when I need to see things. They will say, "Hey, you need to see this," and tell me. But
I need someone like that to, I need someone to do that for
mhm.
me because I miss a lot of things not being on social media. I mean,
um,
I seriously do miss a lot of things.
do you not have a well, they call them PAs, a personal assistant? Do you have no one that does that for you?
I do, but he doesn't stay on social media that much either.
Well, there you go. Um, that is like 90% of what I got Trace for, my lovely TNA. I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was just like, look, if you can just handle this, because honestly, I want to talk to people. I want to interact, but I never stop. It's just it's either all or nothing. That's pretty much my personality
It's all or
description to a
nothing.
T.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
No, I
so
understand.
yeah, and I'm super grateful. And I like right now. Normally, where I get my interaction is I record every day live in Discord, so people will come in and watch me, and that's fucking perfect. But I haven't done that in like a month and a half. Multiple reasons, but I just haven't. I'm going to be getting back to it in January. So right now, the only time I see people is when I do these videos on Monday and Thursday, pretty much. Occasionally, I do another one, but
Hmm.
I miss people. So, my final question to you, and this was a silly one, but I actually, when I saw you last time at GRL, I was like, I got to ask about this. Do you have any tattoos?
I do.
Tell me about your first tattoo.
Uh, my first one, I was drunk. Um, I was so afraid of getting it because I knew it was going to hurt. I don't like needles. Um, and my now husband, then boyfriend. Do people say that nowadays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't
sometimes
know.
I do. Yeah.
He was like, let's go get a tattoo. And I was like, no, no, it's gonna hurt. He's like, it's not gonna hurt. Now, I need to explain something to you. This man makes me very naive. So anything he says, I believe him.
That's the gift of a good husband. Yeah.
Even to this day, he'll say something and I will literally believe him. Other people, I'll look at them suspiciously, but him, I'll believe. Like when I was pregnant, he told me I was gonna go to jail because we hadn't paid taxes in 3 years, and I was literally bawling my eyes out because I was gonna have my baby in jail. So yes, when he was like, "Let's go get a tattoo," and I was like, "No, no, it's gonna hurt." He's like, "No, it's not gonna hurt." He's like, "Look, I have one, and it didn't hurt at all." And I was like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah, no, it's not gonna hurt." And the needle touched my back, and I screamed. And the guy was like, "Senora, Senora, you have to sit down. You have to sit down." I was like, "No, no, 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 it's gonna hurt. It's hurt. It hurts." And he's like, my husband comes and, he's like, here, drink this. And I was like, what is it? He's like, it's juice. I literally drank. I told you, he makes me naive. It was red wine, and I took it in one gulp, and it kind of dulled.
Yeah, it does that.
It kind it kind of dulled my senses, and that's how I got my first tattoo. But then I realized, just like how you say you have an addictive personality, well, I do too. I love tattoos. So I got one, two, three, four, five, and I want to get two more on here on my arm. And yeah.
Yeah,
So
some of them look fantastic. I mean, I haven't seen all the ones on your back or anything, but I've seen a couple on your arm, and they look like way, way. You've gotten some good tattoos. And I
thank
realize,
you.
like, right now you're probably not in a situation where you can show us, but I thought about it enough where the last time I saw you, I was like, dude, I have to ask her about her tattoos because you obviously have got some really
Yeah.
cool ones. Yeah, yeah, you
I
got the
got
writing on
this
that
one
one.
when I published my first book. So this one was for my first book. And this one was for my love of Harry Potter, because Harry Potter started my writing career.
I did
And
not know
yeah.
that. As that
Hmm.
just your love of Harry Potter, reading, watching the movies. So tell me about that.
Fan fiction. It
Ah,
was how I
okay.
got started in writing.
Yep,
And
you're another one. There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with
it was
that.
how I got started in writing.
What were the two characters that you were
And that's
shipping the
how I
most?
learned about Mpreg. Oh God. Okay, so don't think I'm weird, but I
Too
liked
late.
shipping.
Me and you both.
I like shipping Harry and Lucius. I would age
Okay.
Harry, of course, but I like
Hmm.
shipping Harry and Lucius. I didn't age him too much, but I aged him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that was my ship. And I also like shipping Harry and Baltimore. And then I would cross, and I shipped Harry with Harry got shipped. That boy got around so much.
He got around.
Poor Harry. He got around. He got completely around.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you still go back to that world sometimes? Do you still go back to fanfic sometimes? Not even necessarily to write, just to read.
Yeah, I do, because there's still stories. I still have stories that I haven't finished, and I promised the readers that I would finish them. And then the thing was, I owe it to the readers, because some of those readers came over when I started writing MM. So
Nice.
I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, what is the weirdest? The sorry, man, dude, I'm drinking
It's
coffee in the
okay.
booth. That's it against me. What's the weirdest sex scene that you've ever read in fanfic? The weirdest, like it maybe just creeped you out a little bit.
It was a Harry. No, it was a Draco. And what's the giant's name? Oh God, I can't even remember now. I can see it. Hagrid.
Gotcha.
Draco
That,
and Hagrid.
that
And
was
you don't. Even now, I can't picture it, because the way they described Draco, he was just this little short person, and Hagrid was just this. He was taller than the height they gave him in the book, and all I kept thinking was, this arm is gonna fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So it's like,
I've run into scenes like that like in books that I've been paid to read. So not even the fanfic thing where they describe them as and I realize it's fantasy and all that, and I realize that not all women are. And but when you're getting beyond the 12 inches is kind of it's just like that's not. Let's say that's not the boyfriend dick. Let's just say that. Anyways, dude,
I
you've
mean,
been a fan.
even
Go ahead, please.
go ahead.
No, no, no.
No, I was gonna
I
say.
was about to start rapping, but I really want to hear this. So please go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even with the book I'm writing now, where my guy is like 5 foot nothing, and my guy is like 6'7", and I have to try and remember that the height difference, there's going to be a thundercock, and I would have to try
The
and tell
size,
my, you know,
the size
so yeah, the
difference.
size it does matter.
You don't run into a lot of like guys that are 6'9", 6'10". That's with small dicks. I'm just saying and I'm not
No,
doing
you don't.
research, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think physically speaking, that's.
I went
But
with a Shaquille O'Neal kind of height, and I was like, huh.
oh
I was
shit.
like, Shaquille O'Neal is kind of big. I'll go with him.
Yeah, no,
He's
that's a
had
kind of a
many a
that's a big man, and he has to custom order condoms. I mean,
hello,
oh shit. Dude, you have been an absolutely wonderful guest. Thank you. I know that I had to cancel the last
Thank
time,
you
and I
for
can't even
doing.
remember what went down exactly, whether I was sick or whether the internet
It's
dropped. Those
okay.
are about the only two reasons why I ever cancel this thing. But one or the other, I really appreciate you coming on. You're welcome back
No
anytime.
problem.
Do you have
Anytime, just give me a call.
I know that you are. We've talked a bit about what you're working on currently. Do you have anything that's actually scheduled to come out between now and the end of the year, or are you just working on this project? Do you got anything to
This
promote?
project that I'm working on right now is scheduled to come out by the end of the year. Yep.
Congratulations,
That's
and
it's
tell
not on
everybody the
pre-order.
name.
It's just gonna
Cool.
it's not on pre-order, but the name is His Magical Touch, and I have the blurb and the cover in my group. So if you want to see what it looks like, Morningstar did the cover for this book, and I love the cover. It's something new and different for me, and I was a little nervous, but I love it.
Hmm.
So just take a look in my group, and you'll know when it comes out.
Absolutely, and I'm
Oh,
sure.
what's my group?
Well, somebody in the crowd's going to post it up in the comments as well. Trust me, they're
Thank
real
you.
good about that sort of thing. So I appreciate it. This is the easy part. And by the way, everybody, thanks for hanging out. I will see you on Thursday for the Ramblin' Gremlin show. This is the easy part. All you got to do is wave
Bye.
by at the camera. Have fun.